Brad had always been known as the reliable one. As a child, he excelled in school, and as an adult, he quickly rose through the ranks at his job in a high-pressure tech company. His friends and family admired his work ethic and his seemingly unshakable demeanor. However, beneath the surface, Brad was struggling. The long hours, constant deadlines, and relentless pressure were taking a toll on his mental health. Brad's days were a blur of meetings, coding sessions, and endless emails. He barely had time to eat, let alone relax or pursue hobbies. Sleep became a luxury, often interrupted by late-night calls or anxiety about the next day's tasks. His personal life suffered as well. He became distant from friends and family, unable to muster the energy to maintain relationships. One evening, after yet another exhausting day, Brad found himself sitting alone in his darkened living room. His mind was racing, and his heart felt heavy with a sense of despair he couldn't shake. The thought of facing another day filled him with dread. It was then that he realized something had to change. He couldn't continue living like this, constantly on the brink of a breakdown. Brad decided to reach out for help. He confided in his best friend, Mark, who had always been a pillar of support. Mark listened patiently and urged Brad to see a therapist. Though hesitant at first, Brad agreed. It was a difficult step, but he knew it was necessary for his well-being. Brad's first therapy session was a revelation. He met Dr. Harper, a compassionate and insightful therapist who immediately made him feel at ease. Brad was surprised at how much he opened up during their sessions, discussing his anxieties, his fears of failure, and the immense pressure he felt at work. Dr. Harper helped Brad understand that his relentless drive for success was rooted in deep-seated insecurities and a fear of disappointing others. She introduced him to mindfulness and relaxation techniques, encouraging him to take small steps towards reclaiming his life. Brad began to realize the importance of self-care and the need to set boundaries in both his personal and professional life. At work, Brad started to delegate tasks and communicate more openly with his colleagues about his workload. He also set strict limits on his working hours, ensuring he had time to unwind and pursue activities he enjoyed. It wasn't easy. The habits of overwork and self-neglect were hard to break. But with Dr. Harper's guidance, Brad gradually began to see improvements in his mental state. Outside of work, Brad reconnected with friends and family. He made a conscious effort to spend quality time with them, rekindling relationships that had suffered due to his previous neglect. His social life flourished, and he found comfort and joy in the support and companionship of his loved ones. As Brad continued his therapy, he discovered the importance of having interests outside of work. He realized that his life had been consumed by his job, leaving little room for anything else. With Dr. Harper's encouragement, Brad began exploring new hobbies and rediscovering old ones he had abandoned. He took up painting, a passion from his childhood that he had long forgotten. The act of creating something with his hands was therapeutic, allowing him to express his emotions in a non-verbal way. Brad found solace in the vibrant colors and the rhythm of the brushstrokes. He also joined a local painting class, where he met others who shared his interest and found a new community of friends. Additionally, Brad started running. It was a way to clear his mind and relieve stress. The physical exertion and the rhythmic pounding of his feet on the pavement provided a release for his pent-up anxiety. He began to appreciate the simple pleasure of being outdoors, the fresh air, and the changing scenery. These new activities brought balance to Brad's life. They provided a necessary counterpoint to the demands of his job, helping him to relax and recharge. He started to feel a sense of fulfillment and happiness that he hadn't experienced in years. Despite his progress, Brad's journey was not without setbacks. There were times when the pressure at work ramped up and he found himself slipping back into old habits of overworking and neglecting his self-care. During these periods, Brad felt frustrated and disheartened, fearing that he was losing the progress he had made. One particularly challenging project at work pushed Brad to his limits. The deadlines were tight and the expectations were high. Brad began working late into the night again, sacrificing his newfound hobbies and social life. The familiar feelings of anxiety and exhaustion crept back, and he felt himself teetering on the edge once more. Recognizing the signs, Brad decided to be proactive. He He reached out to Dr. Harper, who reminded him that setbacks were a natural part of any healing journey. She encouraged him to be kind to himself and to see these moments as opportunities to reinforce his new habits and coping strategies. Brad also leaned on his support network. He confided in Mark and his family about the difficulties he was facing. Their understanding and encouragement provided him with the strength to push through the tough times. Gradually, Brad managed to find his footing again, recommitting to his self-care practices and boundary setting. Brad's journey towards mental health and balance transformed his life in ways he had never anticipated. Over time, he came to understand that prioritizing his well-being was not just about alleviating stress, but about fostering a richer, more fulfilling life. The changes he made improved his mental health and positively impacted his work performance, relationships, and overall outlook on life. At work, Brad became a beacon of efficiency and calm. He no longer saw the need to be the last one in the office or to take on every project single-handedly. By setting clear boundaries and learning to delegate, he found that his productivity increased. He was more focused during work hours and more effective in his role. His colleagues noticed the positive changes and respected his new approach. Many even sought his advice on managing their workloads and maintaining a healthy work-life balance. Brad's personal life flourished as well. He continued to nurture his passion for painting, regularly attending classes and participating in local exhibitions. His artwork, once a private solace, began to receive recognition, and he found joy in sharing his creativity with others. Running remained a vital part of his routine, offering both physical benefits and a mental release. He even started training for marathons, enjoying the sense of achievement and community that came with the sport. Reconnecting with friends and family became a cornerstone of Brad's life. He spent more time with his loved ones, nurturing relationships that had been strained by his previous neglect. Weekend hikes, family dinners, and coffee with friends became regular fixtures in his schedule, providing him with a support system and a sense of belonging that he had missed. Brad also became a vocal advocate for mental health in his community and workplace. He organized workshops on stress management and self-care, sharing his story to inspire others to prioritize their mental health. His openness and vulnerability resonated with many, fostering a culture of support and understanding. One day, Brad was invited to speak at a mental health conference. Standing in front of a large audience, he shared his journey, the pressures he had faced, the breaking point, and the steps he took towards healing. He spoke about the importance of recognizing one's limits, seeking help, and embracing activities that bring joy and fulfillment. His message was clear: taking care of one's mental health is not a luxury, but a necessity. As he looked out at the attentive faces, Brad felt a profound sense of accomplishment. He had come a long way from the overwhelmed and anxious person he once was. His life was now characterized by balance, purpose, and authentic happiness. He knew that the journey towards mental health was ongoing, requiring continuous effort and self-awareness, but he was equipped with the tools and mindset to navigate it successfully. Reflecting on his journey, Brad felt a deep sense of gratitude. He was thankful for the support of his therapist, Dr. Harper, who had guided him through his darkest times, and for his friends and family who had stood by him. Most importantly, he was grateful for his decision to prioritize his mental health, which had transformed his life in ways he could never have imagined. Brad's story became an inspiration to many, illustrating that taking care of one's mental health is a courageous and essential step towards a fulfilling life. His journey showed that with the right support and a commitment to self-care, it is possible to overcome challenges and build a life rich with joy, balance, and well-being.